the American Nightmare Cody Rhodes will leave WWE and return to AEW. I know that's not what many WWE fans want to hear. I know that's not what conventional wisdom will tell us, as Cody Rhodes currently is the WWE World Champion. He is the biggest star in WWE right now, save The Rock and Roman Reigns, and he is having the run of his career. There is arguably no bigger true babyface in all of pro wrestling right now than Cody Rhodes. And for that reason, I think we will not see him go to AEW when his contract expires this time around. However, before it's all said and done, I believe that Cody Rhodes will indeed return to AEW. And while it's easy for me to sit here and say that it would never happen, or that Cody is as happy as he could possibly be in WWE, the fact of the matter is that Cody Rhodes to AEW makes sense for two reasons. Reason number one is Cody has unfinished business in AEW, and when we want to look at the future of what pro wrestling is going to be, you also have to factor in the idea that in a couple of years, we don't know who is going to be on top, who the top stars in WWE are going to be, and where exactly Cody Rhodes is going to fit into the grand scheme of things. We know that Cody has said in the past that he wants to retire when he gets to a certain age, but the fact of the matter is, we've heard that from many wrestlers, and we've heard it time and time again to the point where we shouldn't really believe it when it comes out of their mouths. Yes, it's possible that Cody will take a step back. However, in a couple of years, I think we could see a situation where Cody gets offered a big money deal by AEW, potentially for less dates, and will get the opportunity not only to be with his family more, but also go back to where things started. Because the entire genesis of the revitalization of what Cody Rhodes had become began when he left WWE the first time. And there's a lot of people that helped him get to where he is. Arguably, no one did more, though, than himself. But Cody, I think, understands that going back to AEW would allow him to finish the biggest story, probably, of his career, that being winning the AEW World Championship. Something that we all thought was going to happen just a couple of months into the first run of AEW, something that we all believed was inevitable, that was ripped away from us because of some horrible decision making at the time. When Cody and the Young Bucks and Kenny Omega started AEW, they wanted to give the perception that they were not EVPs who were going to book their way to the top, that they were not trying to bury young talent, that they were not trying to be Hulk Hogan, Kevin Nash, and others in the heyday of WCW. This was supposed to be something different. And one of the pitfalls of that was that they took the route of not putting themselves, the biggest stars in the company, over at a time when they probably should have, that would have helped sustain popularity for the brand. And by not doing that, and instead doubling down by taking himself out of the world title picture entirely, Cody Rhodes not only did a disservice to the fans, the product, the brand, but himself as well. So here we are a couple of years later, and Cody's contract is up. I think that there's good reason to believe that he would want to have a chance to finish that, right those wrongs. There's a way to even tell that story in that Cody comes back to AEW with one goal in mind, and that is to win the major championship that he has not done, to win the prize that he himself eliminated himself from, to win something that we all thought was ungoddamn deniable to him. So there's that story. There's multiple other stories that Cody could tell. A re-feud with MJF, with them reigniting their rivalry. There's also the potential for him to take on some of the new faces. Don't tell me that Cody versus Swerve wouldn't be a great match. Don't tell me that an update of Darby Allin versus Cody Rhodes wouldn't be great. And don't tell me the moment of Cody Rhodes returning and finally reuniting with the Elite after years and years away, after all of the alleged drama that has taken place. I think that there's potential for an all-time level, not only moment, but story to be told with the guys that helped start AEW and kick off the wrestling revolution. And when we talk about revolution, we also get into the second reason why Cody Rhodes will likely end up in AEW when it's all said and done. That is because Cody Rhodes in professional wrestling is a revolutionary. Ever since he stepped out of the shadow of WWE in 2016, he called his own shot, leaving the company, leaving the one place that he had known above everything else. Cody Rhodes has done everything to revitalize and revolutionize, transform the wrestling business. From joining up with Bullet Club and creating the genesis of what would eventually become the Elite, helping move forward the first independent show of its nature to draw 10,000 fans in a few decades, to starting AEW alongside the Elite and Tony Khan. Cody Rhodes has his fingerprints all over modern professional wrestling history. And I think when we look back to Cody's last promo in AEW, where he called out CM Punk, where he said CM Punk talked about a wrestling revolution. He talked about creating a better world. He talked about creating a better system for wrestlers. He talked about it, but I helped do it. And I think part of that revolution, part of that journey for Cody in helping transform wrestling is by, after becoming arguably one of the biggest stars in the world, going back and helping AEW. And that is not because he is an AEW mark. That is not because he has some affiliation with whatever people are there. It is because Cody understands his place in wrestling. Eventually, everyone gets to the point where it's time to leave the territories. It's something that he hinted towards when he actually left AEW in the first place. Sometimes it is just time to leave the territory and go off and explore what else is out there and finally achieve things that you haven't done. And one thing's for sure, if Cody Rhodes did indeed leave WWE for AEW, it would not only be a massive story, but for many fans out there, it would be a seminal moment in wrestling history. But in the end, it is a decision that Cody will come to. Potentially, he won't even do it, as he has said he will retire pretty soon. But as we know in professional wrestling, never say never, I guess.